He's got it, wants to throw. Wentz looks, pressure comes. Wentz hit, sack, back inside the 20. Aiden Hutchinson, that's number 2.
What's going on, guys? Welcome back to yet another episode of the Big D Pod, where we talk all things Detroit sports, and we're a little sad today. Yeah, that's about it, actually. A little sad thinking about everything, but also it's kind of a good thing to kind of look back and realize, this was a great season, and yeah, I mean, we'll get into it more here, but Ben, how you doing? It's been a while.
It's been a while. Week has been very, very depressing.
It's like gloomy,
It's a very gloomy week. I will say I'm still so happy how we did this season, but like the way it ended, man.
Heartbreaking.
30 minutes away.
Yeah, and it's like you turn to the Pistons to help you kind of cope with it, and that doesn't help. And then you look, the Red Wings play like 2 games in the next 3 weeks. So like not 2 weeks.
Nothing helps, man.
But it's just tough, man. There's not a lot of sports going on right now. We're getting into both All-Star breaks here pretty soon, and weird stuff going on in the NBA that it's just like nothing's good right now. Baseball's still a while away. Pitchers and catchers don't report for another 2 weeks. And it's just there's just not a lot going on if you're not a Chiefs or 49ers fan. And I think a lot of fans are feeling that way right now. I really do.
Who even wants to watch that game? Like,
I just think there's a big push for people not watching it.
The only reason it's going to get viewers is because Taylor Swift at this point. Which is ridiculous.
I understand, though. I mean, it's a big celebrity, and she doesn't really get as much airtime as we might think. She just gets posted and talked about a lot, and it becomes a little bit overwhelming and a little bit frustrating as a football fan. There's guys out there on the team, second stringers who've worked their whole lives to get to this moment, even first stringers, first time here at the Super Bowl. They're not going to get mentioned at all. It doesn't pay the bills, per se, in the terms of the media companies and the NFL and stuff to show those guys. But I personally would like to hear more about this random guard from Morehead State that fought 3 bears to get to the end. I don't know. Stories like that I like a lot more.
And also with media, like the ridiculous thing, you got Taylor Swift on media, but then you also have media taking plays from like the conference championship rounds, the taunting penalty by Zay Flowers, and they just post it all over social media, and the NFL uses it to like get traction to their sport, but then they find the dude and they flag him for 15 yards. Like that's one of the most ridiculous things to me.
Yeah,
you use that moment to get people to your sport, but then when they start watching it, every single one of those plays just gets flagged for taunting. Ridiculous.
Yeah, it's just there's just a lot of weirdness going on in sports right now. You got the stuff going on in the MLB, in the NBA with like Anthony Edwards calling out the refs, and it's just there's just like weird stuff. People are getting injured. People are not going to be eligible for end of the year awards because they're not playing as many games. There's a lot of weird stuff going on.
Yeah, because they missed what? You can only miss. There's 82 games. You have to play 65.
65. Yeah. So 17 games missed. But
yeah, dude, it's ridiculous because you got guys like Tyrese Halliburton and Joel that aren't going to get awards because like Tyrese Halliburton can only miss 3 more games and Joel can only miss like 7 more this entire season, which is just ridiculous to me.
It's so hard to like manipulate and it's easy to manipulate is what I'm trying to say as a coach, as an owner, saying, oh, this guy's hurt when really he's not. So like, it's not like you could say, oh, injuries, they happen and stuff. We're going to allow those, but you only get like 3 rest days. Well, you can't really do that because if Joel Embiid has a bruise on his left pinky, they can just say, left pinky strain, he can't play. When really it's more of a rest day, if anything. And it's such a gray area, and the NBA is going to have some work on it. And wasn't it Adam Silver who literally just signed like a 5-6 year extension?
Yeah, he
So
signed like a huge extension. So
he's got work to do, man. There's that. All the leagues have work to do, man. They're trying to change stuff, and it's just, I don't know. It just feels like a gloomy time in sports right now. But if I'm being honest, if the Ravens won, if the Lions won, I'd be a little bit happier about the Super Bowl. I'd be more excited to watch. But these two teams, man, I mean, if the Chiefs win, I mean, good for Mahomes and Andy Reid and Kelsey and what they're doing, because it's breaking records. It's unreal what they're doing. But, like, the way that they're doing it isn't fun. They're becoming less and less likable, in my opinion. To me, yeah. I think they're least liked more than any Patriots team ever was, or the Bucs were. I mean, it's just, I feel like Brady kind of did it with humility, and these guys aren't. These guys aren't. They're in your face about it and mocking kickers. I was
talking to somebody about this who's a Chiefs fan. Like, he's been a Chiefs fan. He's from Missouri, everything like that. And he goes, media never treated Brady like they treat Mahomes and the Chiefs, because they actually focused on that Patriots team, whereas everything you hear on the Chiefs and every single reason why they're disliked is for reasons outside of the Chiefs. It's because of the media doing the stuff with Taylor Swift. It's because of Jackson Mahomes, what he did. It's because of Brittany Mahomes and what she does. It's literally all the hatred for the Chiefs can mainly be on the outside of that Chiefs program. It's just the people around it. And it's tough to see, because, like, a couple years ago, I loved when the Chiefs were in the Super Bowl. Like, let me tell you, like, seeing Patrick Mahomes do what he did, it was amazing to see. But, like, now I'm just so over it, because I just hate hearing about these same names over and over again with, like, Swift, Brittany, Jackson. Like, it's just all over the media. And it's like, if you showed the actual team, then fine. But when you're showing celebrities and everything like that are just around the team, it gets annoying.
It just gets a little bit overwhelming, and I don't know, man. It's just, and probably I agree with you. It is a lot of the outside, but it's also the team too, man. Like, I understand that Justin Tucker was in the way, but the way that all played out, I feel like it could have been a better situation. I understand they're competing, but then afterward, I was trying to pull up the exact quote that Kelsey had on his podcast yesterday. But it was something that it rubbed me the wrong way. I'll try to find it. I'll try to find it while you talk here, but it's just, they're not very humble by anything, and they don't have to be. But the other thing is, you got guys out here in the NFL like Brock Purdy and CJ Stroud are talking about their faith and stuff, and are the most humble people on the planet, and they don't get half the attention that Mahomes and Kelsey do, who are just kind of in your face about being good. And to be fair, they reserve the right to. They're the best duo, and I mean, they're gonna be one of the best duos in history, if not the best 100%. Already. It's just, I feel like there's a better way to go out,
Mm-hmm. No, and the thing with it is, I guarantee, like, Brock Purdy gets media attention, but I swear the only media attention this man gets is saying, one, he's overrated, and two, it's about him being Mr. Irrelevant. I swear every single post ever posted with Brock Purdy, it's about him being Mr. Irrelevant, or him being a game manager. And let me tell you, yes, I screaming you're a game manager during the game because I was just annoyed and pissed off because they were coming back? Maybe. But did he absolutely ball out against the Lions and have key runs to get first downs and key plays? Yes. Like, Brock Purdy's a very good quarterback. He's probably a top 5 quarterback in the league right now, and I'll say that with a straight face. Like, I don't know, it's insane what he's doing, obviously, but I'm just so tired of, like, them not giving Brock Purdy what they should be, and everything this entire weekend is just about the Chiefs. Like, I swear half the posts I see about the Super, or I guess that would make sense, but I would say 75% of the posts I see about the Super Bowl are on the Chiefs. Like, literally,
Yeah.
my entire TikTok, Instagram, every single feed is how Taylor Swift is going to make it back from Japan in order to get to the Super Bowl.
And it takes 13 hours. And dude, I've had so much.
Yes.
Have you seen all the 13 stuff? That stuff is what
Mhm.
drives me nuts. Like making
how-
it about her,
yeah.
bro. It just makes me so mad.
Oh, and then the Super Bowl logo thing, how it was purple
Yeah.
and red, how they're
Taylor
making
Swift in a
it
purple
now
dress.
because of the Speak Now album. Oh, I'm so over it. Dude,
I'm so done.
she's in like half my playlist, I'll admit, because some of her music's good. But let me tell you, anytime I hear it this week, it's getting skipped, and I've skipped it every single time.
So,
But
yeah, no, go ahead.
getting into the Lions game, though.
Sure, let's do it. I was going to talk about the Super Bowl. We can talk about that later.
We'll talk about that at the end. We should get into the Lions game a little bit.
Let's do it.
What are your initial thoughts?
Man, I posted on my story, bro. I'm just one word, heartbroken. That's all it is, man. It just isn't. It feels like that wasn't the way to end. Like It feels like that wasn't supposed to happen. You know, it's the biggest conference lead given up since whatever. Teams are 23-1 now who will lead up 17 at halftime in conference championship. It's just like, man, I feel like if you're like another team in the situation, you're like physically angry at your coaching staff, at your players, at your fan base. Like in the next week or two, just following. You're so mad. Like, of course, it's my team to give up this and this, this. And, you know, my mindset's a little different. It's, you know, of course the Lions were the team to do this. But I also look back and was like, dang, dude, we were top four. We were top 4 team in the NFL. Yeah. When have we been a top 4 team?
We were playing in January.
When has that ever been a Lions thing to do? And
exactly.
It's just, yeah, I don't know. What were your thoughts? I think they're pretty similar, but
dude, they're very similar. Like, just heartbroken. I had a couple people over at my house. There was probably like 15 of us sitting in my living room, maybe a couple more. And like, we had face paint on, everything like that.
Yeah, we did.
Like, we did the hut stripe with blue face paint. We were going, and we were like, dude, me and Caleb, because he came over outside at halftime, we were chanting "Let's go Lions" and Jared Goff, and then that second half happened, and by the end, or like 2 minutes to go in the second half, I'm just
dead silent,
face down. It's dead silent. Like, the entire game we're loud. 3 minutes to go left in the game, dead silent. Living room, dead silent.
Crazy.
I'm laying just face down on my living room floor, like,
I was just speechless, man,
because it's like, like completely speechless about what just happened. And it's just so tough because, like, we've never been in this situation. Like,
I don't know how to react.
They've seen this before.
Yeah,
it's so like
you're like confused almost.
I've
never been in a situation.
One of the people
like
that was over is a Patriots fan, and he goes, "It's crazy to see like you, Ben, with the playoff, like the playoff nerves, like the playoff reactions, the playoff heartbreak." Yeah. And I'm like, dude, it's just, I've never felt this before. And it's just like, it's so tough to go at it, but it's also like, you gotta be happy of what we did this season with how young this team is, the coaching, like, just
it's I totally agree.
Such a good season.
Like, those playoff nerves, though, man, they get you, because I was feeling the same way. You never have experienced that roller coaster of emotions of struggling in the second half, finally getting an open third down pass. It's right in your receiver's hands, and you start to jump up as soon as you see it in its hands, and then you start celebrating, and you look back, and the ball's on the ground, and then your stomach just drops. Like, it's just... There's nothing like it. Like, there's nothing like it. It's unreal.
And getting into it, we'll get into that, because that leads to the fourth downs, which Dan Campbell
we can handle those 4 at the same time.
Dan Campbell should not be getting the hate he is, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
Either should Josh Reynolds. Yes, Josh Reynolds did drop 2 key balls. He dropped one on 4th and he dropped one on 3rd, which led to us going for it on 4th again, not getting it.
Mm-hmm.
Josh Reynolds has been good all season. If we didn't have Josh Reynolds, who knows if we make it to the spot we did today. We made it to that spot with Dan Campbell doing the gutsy play calls. He went for it all year long. All year long, you saw him going for it. Josh Reynolds, you saw him being a dog all year long. And just now you're giving him hate because of 2 drops. Yes, it may have cost us, but you never know what's going to happen after that. And then Dan Campbell going for it on 4th down and not converting it the 2 times or 3 times we did it. Like, yes, I understand we could have kicked a field goal. But look at Michael Badgley, for one.
Mm-hmm.
The most inefficient kicker in the NFL from that range. 1. And 2, you just got to do what you've been doing all season. You got to do what you've got you to that point. And Dan Campbell did it. And he doesn't regret it. I don't, maybe at the time I was pissed off that we didn't kick the field goal because we didn't get it. But at the time before, I'm saying go for it. Because it's we've seen it all year. We know what you're going to do. I don't know. What are your thoughts on the Josh Reynolds and Dan Campbell hate?
I'm just gonna go Josh Reynolds first. So it is frustrating to watch, but and I know your initial thought is get him off the field, get him off the team, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
But after you wait 24 hours, wait 48 hours, come back down to earth, be like, we would not be in the situation we are this year without Josh Reynolds. Jared Goff would not be as comfortable as a quarterback without Josh Reynolds. And I think that's an underrated aspect of his game is that, Josh Reynolds is his only receiver that he had on the Rams to come to the Lions. So does that add a sort of aura of comfortability? I think so. I think it makes him a little bit more comfortable, helps in the locker room. And he certainly is a great second, third option. Is he going to be our number 2 next year? I don't think so. After a game we'll talk about him in a little bit, but
oh my God.
I just think he's going to be a core piece, though. He's going to be a number 3 guy, and he's going to be one of the best number 3s in the country, in the league.
Oh yeah.
And I just think that he doesn't deserve all this hate. I mean, he's going to get it. Obviously, he understands. He knows you're not beating him up more than he already has. Mm-hmm. He already knows He's probably telling himself, man, I ruined this season. I ruined the game. Lions fans hate me. I don't deserve to be a Detroit Lion anymore. All these things. Whatever you say isn't going to help.
He came out after the game, and the thing that he said was, he got asked a question, and it was, do you wish you could have that back? And he goes, yes, obviously. I wish I could have those passes back.
Stupid question.
Am I going to let it haunt me for the rest of my life? No, I'm going to pick it back up, and we got next year. Obviously, we haven't re-signed him yet because free agency hasn't happened or anything. But, I mean, I hope we do. And everybody that doesn't want to re-sign Josh Reynolds, grow up.
Me too, yeah.
He dropped 2 balls. Yes, he had other drops this season, obviously. He dropped 2 balls.
Yeah. Other than that, he's just been a great option this whole year.
He's been a great option. Yes,
he doesn't drop a lot of passes.
Should have replaced him as number 2 earlier in the season.
Mm-hmm.
But he still should be the number 3 guy. He's better than Khalif Raymond. He's better than Donovan Peoples-Jones. He's better than the other wide receivers on this team. He should have been the number 3 the entire time. Number 2 when Jameson Williams was coming back and not playing his best. But, you can't be mad at him. You can be mad at him in the moment, but at this point, a couple days after, you just can't be mad at him anymore. Yes,
agreed.
It hurts, but
yeah, he is going to be a free agent, and he's only 28 years old. So I mean, he's a guy that he's not a super big body. He's also not super tiny. He could have a very long career. 28 still pretty young for a guy like him, and what he can accomplish. And I think coaching staff wants him back. I think the quarterback wants him back. It's just Lions fans got to realize, this is a guy that we need that can help us.
Yeah.
And
speaking of guys that we need, get into it real quick. Aaron Glenn.
Yeah.
I am so pissed. I got so mad. Like, I literally blew up all my social medias because everybody that was just posting
You
they need to
did.
fire Dan Campbell and Aaron Glenn.
Oh
Dude,
my
you
gosh.
didn't watch Lions football this year.
Take a minute, bro, and chill.
If you look at the grades, like the PFF grades of our defensive players this season, and how we made it to this point, man, looking at our team compared to other teams, it's tough to see with this defense. Aaron Glenn did a really good job with what he was given. Look at this defense. Yes, you have Hutch. Yes, you have Brian Branch, who is become a big name rookie.
Still a rookie.
Yes, you have CJ Gardner Johnson, but you only had him for a couple of games.
And
yes,
he wasn't stellar.
Name. Besides that, you don't have these big names. Like, yes, obviously we love them. We think that they're very good, but you don't got these big names. Like, you don't have a Fred Warner. You don't have an Aaron Donald as a defensive tackle. You don't have a Jalen Ramsey. For God's sakes, we had Cameron Sutton, Jerry Jacobs, in Vildor for half the year, for the entire year. Like,
yeah,
those were our corners.
Sutton was a cornerback 3 in Pittsburgh, maybe 2, but 3 mostly in Pittsburgh, and he came BR1. Jerry just never was anything special. Vildor, I don't even know where Vildor came from. But with our injury to Mosley, he kind of had to step up in the beginning of the year. And you just look at this defense on paper. Look at their names. Kirby is good. CJ is good, but he was hurt all year. You know, Hutch is a star. From there, your D tackles kind of just grew up in the system. Your right end, Kaminsky and Pascal, they're draft picks like 2-3 years out of getting drafted. Your corners are old third stringers from other teams. Your middle linebackers are rookie. Your other middle linebackers are reject Jets linebacker that came and stepped up. Your safeties then Kirby and Iffy. I mean, Iffy's in his third year and he never really played.
All I'm saying is after the first game, if he played, like one of the first games where he played a good amount, when Kirby was injured and obviously CJ Gardner Johnson was still injured. If he came in, he did not look good at all. Like, this man, I ruined this man. I talked most absolutely shit about this dude.
Yeah,
I just trashed.
You fried him, dude.
The next week he comes out,
player of the week.
And he just balls player of the week. Week after that, balls out again, and he balled out the rest of the season. His first game where he had a major starting role, he didn't play well, and I trashed him for it. After that, man balled out the rest of the season.
He had a great year.
Huge piece. And dude, I'm just so over the Aaron Glenn, Dan Campbell hate at this point. Like, Aaron Glenn has been there all year too. And I swear, everybody's like, Aaron Glenn is trash after every single loss we have.
Just look at the team we have, bro.
Aaron Glenn is a god. And I'm like, guys, pick a side. Like, if you think Aaron Glenn is trash, don't switch after we win a couple of games. Stick to what you think. Stick to what you think at this point. That's why I'm so over it. Because people talk about how Aaron Glenn is so good when we're on this winning streak. But as soon as we lose one game, it's completely Aaron Glenn's fault. And I'm like, guys, it's not. And also...
Go ahead. No, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, just also the other guys getting hate right now with Vildor and Sutton.
Kind of deserve it.
Yeah, I kind of deserve it. But also, they did get thrown into a bad role, but they deserve it.
So, Vildor, not so much. I don't think he deserves as much. I think he was getting his hate for the catch, for Brandon Ayuk's catch. And as heartbreaking as it was, what are the odds? Like, I don't know. Does that happen to other corners? No. Do other corners get their hands on the ball? Yes. Is he a young, unexperienced guy in the NFC Championship trying to guard a guy who had like over 1,000 yards receiving this year? Yeah. That's going to be a problem anyways. He did a decent job staying on him and then that was just inexperience showing. That was just, that's it.
That should have been an interception, for one. but definitely an incompletion. And I mean, Brandon Ayuk obviously kept his eyes on the ball the entire time. Like, he made one, like, a very good play. Like, you don't see many guys making that play.
Yeah.
Vildor does not deserve as much hate as he's getting. Cam Sutton, on the other hand, man, fry him. Because he's responding to Instagram DMs right now in the most ridiculous way possible.
Oh, my
I've ever
gosh.
seen a guy respond to Instagram DMs.
So part of me thinks, does he deserve all the hate? No, because he was picked up to be at most a cornerback 2.
Yeah.
Mosley was going to be the 1. Jerry was going to be the 2. And he was going to be the 3.
Brian Branch was going to be slot.
Yeah. So, and now he has to go out and guard CeeDee Lamb and Justin Jefferson twice and Puka Nacua and Mike Evans and Chris Gott. It's just like, it's a hard job. Cornerback 1's the hardest job in the NFL. It's got to be. It's got to be up there next to tackle.
Oh, 100%. It's quarterback.
Quarterback's different. It's different. It's a different level of difficulty. But I mean, corners are got to be one of the hardest jobs because it's so hard to get stops. Like, it's just like, how do you guard Tyreek Hill? I don't know. I don't have the answer. No one does. So you can't blame guys for getting torched by Tyreek Hill.
Yeah.
It's just.
I don't know. It's tough though.
I would like to see him come back and play as a cornerback 3 and just see what happens. I think he'll be much better. I think he can guard guys like Jaden Reed. Other guys in our division, like I don't know.
KJ
He can
Osborne.
guard, like Equinemius St. Brown. Like he can guard those guys. I'm fully convinced he'll be a great cornerback 3, but he's not a cornerback 1. We are missing that guy still, and I hope Brad Holmes cooks this offseason. There's 2 phenomenal corners available. 2 phenomenal corners.
Snead and Jalen Johnson.
Those 2 are available. One of them would be sweet. But Dan Campbell did say, if they are not in the right headspace, if they don't fit the description of the grit, high motor guys that we always grab, they're not on the team, bro. And I fully stand by that. I mean, we don't want cancer in the locker room because you saw what happens with cancer in the locker room. You've seen it happen in other sports like the White Sox. It's not good. It's not good. Sorry, I was listening to the White Sox rant today.
Dude, the White Sox are, oh my God. Don't even, like, I could talk about the White Sox for hours.
They're the prime example, right?
Yeah.
It can either be management or it can be
the Nets,
players.
Brooklyn Nets in basketball a couple years.
Yes, exactly. Good answer. Good.
Katie, Harden, Kyrie, like 3 superstars, and you don't do anything. So I don't know. It's tough though.
Let's get into one other thing that I want to talk about.
All right, I'm done.
So right after the game, there was kind of this thing that went viral that Dan Campbell said, and ESPN quoted it and stuff, and other sports pages quoted it. And this is what I'm just reading straight off an ESPN post. In quotes, it's Dan Campbell saying, "This may have been our only shot." And that's it. That's all they said. Looking at this, you'd think, focus. You would think, wow, why did you say that, bro? Like, that's the stupidest thing. Like, you never want to hear your head coach say that and stuff like that. And that's what all the comments were saying. If you find the actual interview, the actual video of his actual response, yes, he says that. He says, this may have been our only shot. Right after, without even taking a breath, he says, do I really think that? No. Do I really believe that? No. But he says, this year would have been easier than the next few years, right? It's only going to get harder, right? And I think it's just honest about a head coach. Like, that's an honest thing to say. You're like, I'm looking at our team being honest, right? Did we have a pretty easy schedule? Yeah. Did we sneak past the Rams, beat the Bucks, and had a pretty easy path to the NFC Championship? Yeah. Right? We'd have to play the Packers or the Cowboys or any of those. Those are the teams, right? Eagles. Next year's going to be hard. The NFC North is going to be a top division in football, and that's not up for debate.
No, the NFC North will. I don't think it's going. It will be the top division in football next year. The Chicago Bears this offseason, I think, are going to cook. The Green Bay Packers.
If they don't, I'm going to laugh so hard, though.
Oh, I'm going to laugh.
The Bears are going to blow this. They're going to blow it. They're going to blow it.
I hate to say it, the Green Bay Packers are looking incredible once again.
I'm scared.
They found another quarterback. And I hate to say it. 3 in a row now. They went from Favre to Rodgers to Jordan Love, who played incredible. Obviously, he's going into his second year of starting this next year. So you still don't know what's going to happen. He's still young. But just making it to the playoffs with the youngest team to ever make the playoffs was the Green Bay Packers this year.
It's crazy.
And then you had the Vikings who obviously they weren't the best. They still played decent.
They got pieces.
Justin Jefferson out half the year. Kirk Cousins out pretty much the entire year. They couldn't find a quarterback after that. There's just big things with that team. The Vikings dealt with a whole bunch of injuries. The Packers look good. The Bears, please do something this offseason because it would be cool to see some competition with the Bears, but also not. Honestly, stay trash.
But the thing is their last 6 games, they won 5 of them?
Oh, yeah. Dude,
that team Bears figured it out.
We'll get into a separate thing with that.
Some other time we'll get into it. But
some other time we got to get into it. But no, I don't know. Dan Campbell, obviously, yes. We kind of got off track there again. But Dan Campbell obviously saying that, yes, you don't ever want to hear that from a head coach. But the media is taking it way out of context.
Yeah.
You got to add the other half of the video on. And I mean, yes. Obviously, this might be the only time we make it to that point in the next couple of years. We might not see this, obviously, again, for a little bit.
The thing is you can say that about every other team besides the Chiefs and 49ers who build super teams, or having an elite quarterback like that. I mean, you could be a Dallas Cowboys fan right now and really just want to die.
Can you really be mad? Yes, obviously you can be mad as a Dallas Cowboys fan. But, you won so many championships in the 90s, bro. Chill out.
That's it, bro. Since then, they haven't even been to a championship.
Yeah, they haven't. It's just great. It's so good to hear that the Lions have made more NFC championship games this century than the Dallas Cowboys.
It's funny.
It's so great to hear. No, but it's just tough. One of my favorite moments of the entire, after the game, which you have written down here, was Dan Campbell walking out with Teddy Bridgewater.
Yeah.
Dan Campbell had his arm around Teddy Bridgewater. Teddy Bridgewater, if you didn't know, is retiring after the season, which is now over. But he came out earlier this year, said he was going to retire after the season because he wants to coach high school. I think it's high school football.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to go coach high school football. He wants to be, I think, around his kids more. Just stuff like that. He wants to be a dad.
Yeah.
At this point, he wants to be a dad. He's a backup role now. He's not gonna see playing time really unless quarterback goes down with an injury or we're up in a huge lead in the fourth quarter or something like that.
And even then, Hendon Hooker is probably our backup going forward. So
yeah, exactly. So I mean, good for him. Man, did I want to see Teddy Bridgewater get a ring? Really badly.
He's just a likable guy, man. He bounced around the league a little bit, got some starting spots. He had an injury there, got replaced and bounced back, but team just didn't really want him anymore. Thrown into free agency and kind of bounced around as a backup since then. And he had a good start of his career, and he's a very likable guy. I mean, the dude's name's literally Teddy. Bro, you gotta love him. And he didn't get a single snap this year in the regular season. Jared Goff played every snap, which is wild also to say.
Oh, yeah.
Crazy.
Every single snap.
Oh, that happened to a lot of quarterbacks here in the playoffs, but just kind of sad to see. I wish he would have stuck around for one more year, but that's just because I like the guy. Is going to be any benefit to our team? I don't know. In the locker room, maybe. On the field, no. But it's just kind of sad to see. But it was also really cool to see. You don't really get to see a lot of quarterbacks and their relationships with their head coach when they're not the QB1, right? Mahomes, Andy Reid, that's just hand in hand, right? Brady, Belichick, right? It's all you think about. You don't really ever think about, these backups probably get along with their head coach pretty good too. They probably
Oh yeah.
get along. I mean, it's cool to see. You don't see it a lot. It's just kind of interesting, and we're gonna miss Teddy. Sorry we couldn't do it for you this year, but go have fun, bro. Gonna hang out with his kids, coach football, living the dream, baby.
Yes, sir. Now, what would you say is your overall recap of this entire year? Like your overall recap of this year?
Yeah, and we kind of got into it a little bit. Just it's a great year, man. Like I've never been this excited watching Lions football.
No.
I'm not gonna lie. I used to be a really big Lions fan. I really was, but I has never been as excited to turn on a Lions game as I was this year. Or I've never considered buying tickets every Sunday as much as I have this year. It's an exciting environment. We took the world by storm, man. The whole NFL fan base by storm. Analysts always bet against us, right? And we just proved them wrong. And finally, we got some attention and got to the NFC Championship. And it was heartbreak. It really was. But, you look back and you think, man, we got some generational guys. Laporta, Gibbs, and Amon-Ra St. Brown are here to stay, man. And give them whatever they want because they are going to be the future of our
other
Lions
guys.
franchise.
Panay Sewell, give him whatever he wants. Brian Branch,
he needs a
played
contract
incredible.
Too. Brian Branch, great year. Just
good thing the Lions have the 7th most cap space this year because we got a couple guys that we got to resign.
It starts at our core, man. It starts,
It does.
Hey, Sewell, blank contract, bro.
Jared Goff.
Seriously.
Throw it.
Serious. I'm serious too. Like with these guys, Panay Sewell, he's getting the first blank contract. I'm telling you,
dude.
Next is Jared Goff. He's getting the second one. And is he going to be the highest paid quarterback? I don't think so. I think he knows what he's worth. I think he knows that if this team wants to win, he can't be gritty like that. He can't be the Dak Prescott of this team.
He's going to pull a
He's
Brady.
taking a pay cut.
And if you know anything about Tom Brady, he took pay cuts so his team would succeed. Look at what he did in the league. Obviously, it worked. Like I think
and everything
Jared
guys,
Goff
man.
will be a Brady. I really do. He wants to win. He doesn't care. I don't think he cares about the money as much. Obviously, everybody cares about money.
Obviously,
he wants to win.
He's going to get a bag still, but
he's still going to get $20 million a year easily. Like easily $20 million a year.
Easily
25 a year
easily.
Probably
at least, yeah.
But dude, it's going to be. We'll see what happens. I'm interested to see. Free agency opens a couple weeks after Super Bowl ends. I don't know the exact date when free agency opens. Obviously,
there's some off-season signings and stuff to do.
There's off-season signings. Like we can re-sign our players and franchise tag them.
Franchise
and stuff like
tag. That's what I'm trying to think. Yeah, some of that stuff.
So, but no, my overall recap on this year is literally thinking back on this year. I mean, it's been a couple days. Just thinking back on this entire Lions year, it just gives me chills to think about. Like
it brings a smile to my face, bro. I'm not gonna lie.
Dude, it leaves me speechless. Like literally leaves me speechless. We went from 2 years ago, we hired 3 years ago, we hired Dan Campbell. This was his 3rd season. First season, we were 3-13-1.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of guys had hope for the next season, but it was just tough to see because 3-13-1, we didn't know what was going to happen. Then you move on to the next season. We start off so bad, like not good at all.
Like 1-7.
1-7, 2-7, something like that. And then we just go on a hot streak to end the season. And we end the season with 9-8, winning record. A lot of people talking about us.
We were 8-9.
No, 9-8, because we beat the Packers and forced them out of the playoffs at the end of the season. And they ended 8-9, and we got second in the division. They got third.
You're right.
But literally, we were a half game away. We were 1 game away from making the playoffs last year, and if we would have beat Seattle, we would have been in the playoffs early. Like, if we would have beat Seattle early in the season, we would have been in the playoffs. Obviously, if we would have beat any other team at that point too,
Facts, yeah.
we would have been in the playoffs.
9-8,
But
yeah.
if we would have beat the Seahawks and then lost to a different team, we're in the playoffs over the Seahawks. They beat us out because of the tiebreaker. This year,
Crazy.
we just go on a tear. Like,
12-4, baby.
Tear. Incredible to see.
12-5.
And the way
13-4.
12-5.
12-5. You're right.
Yeah. And just the way Dan Campbell is about, the way Brad Holmes drafts, the way like this entire team, it's just amazing to see. Like, I don't know. Thinking back on this team is going to give me chills for a long time.
Yeah, I hope it's not the one and only. You know, I hope this is the start of something.
Nope.
I don't think it is either.
100%. I want to do some other stuff on our other channel where we'll like make some draft boards, do some stuff like that. I think that would be some cool ideas.
We'll have fun over there.
That's where we'll get into a lot of like deep dives into some free agents. But we'll also talk about obviously free agent signings, re-signings, like all that stuff on here. But in depth, we'll get into it over there. We'll talk about like the dude's stats over his career. But yeah, no, that I'm so ready. I'm so ready to like for Lions football now. Like,
I'm excited to let Brad cook this offseason, man.
The day after the Super Bowl, I literally got onto my phone. I'm like, obviously the dates aren't out for when the 2024 season starts. I just went based on when the 2023 season started, and I typed into my phone how many days until September 7th or whatever date it was. And it was like 212 days away, and I'm like, we have to wait 212 days for Lions football? Like, it's so tough.
Bro,
normally if you save during the offseason, I'm happy.
Bro, if you save $20 a day, we can go to the Super Bowl next year.
Man.
You ever think about that?
Drop a like, drop a sub, take us to the Super Bowl.
Yeah, thanks. Well, let's get past those next two and let's just talk right into. Let's go to CJ Gardner-Johnson here for a second. So, I like a guy who's going to talk a little trash. I like a guy who's going to have a little bit of swag and stuff. But I also like a guy who's humble and can kind of speak through his actions and prove why they're good and whatnot. You know, let people talk about him and let him talk about him. You know, if that makes sense. And CJ Gardner-Johnson is not that guy. He's a little bit cocky, and by a little bit, I mean a lot. He talks a lot of smack. Lions fans seem to love him all around, but it comes to a point where I'm like, dude, you just made yourself look like an idiot.
Dude, he looked like an idiot. Waving on the sideline when we were up, 14 points? Was it 21 points? I don't remember at the time.
Up 17.
But waving on, 17 because it was at halftime. Yeah. Waving like the game was over, and you didn't really see him do much. But it's almost good if you don't see somebody do, like, corner do much in a game because it means they're not getting targeted a whole bunch.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that's one of the things I'll say about corner. If you don't notice a corner in the game, like, if you don't notice somebody in the game, like one of your DBs, that's good. That's actually really good.
Oh, there's one play I noticed him.
Yeah.
When Christian McCaffrey threw his arm through his face, made him look like an idiot. That was the moment where I'm like, dude, you got to chill. I mean, I'm sorry. Yeah. You're good. You're coming off an injury. I know I shouldn't be super judgmental, but how good are you?
What we're gonna do with them.
How good are you? I don't know. I really don't. I don't know if. I don't know. Some of this stuff doesn't seem like it's the Dan Campbell way. We'll see. Am I going to be upset if he leaves? Yeah, I am. Am I going to be upset if he leaves and we replace him? Not as much. Can Iffy and Kirby play back there? I don't know. It's just hard.
I would honestly be more upset if we see like Panay leave or Josh Reynolds leave or obviously Goff leave.
If we sign him over Panay, Jared Goff, Craig, Josh, I mean, I'm going to be so mad.
Yeah, 100%. Like, I'll be over it. But I don't know. It's hard to talk about him because he didn't obviously play much this season. He was off of an injury. But like, if you talk smack, back it up. That's all I'm gonna say. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Speaking of Lions news, there's actually some good news. Some very good news. If you didn't know already, the one and only, the best offensive coordinator in the NFL right now is staying with the Detroit Lions. Ben
Yes, he
Johnson
is,
will be
baby.
back.
That's our
And
biggest
I'm so
offseason
excited.
signing so far. Well,
Yeah.
just in general, one of the biggest, I think. I'm excited to have him back. He was a dog this year. I mean, he clicks with these guys. He clicks with Dan. I mean, this dude could have pretty much gone to any place with with an open head coach spot, and he chose to be the offensive coordinator for the Detroit Lions. Like, I don't think that's set in for people yet. Like, what?
Yeah, no. Like,
It's unreal.
Man, just think, a couple years ago, we had Matt Patricia and Jim Bob Cooter.
Jim Bob Cooter, baby. I wonder what he's up to. I think he's like a kicking coach or something.
You might as well, because he wasn't any good at offense.
No, I think he's doing some like position specialist for like the Raiders or something.
That would make sense. I don't know. He ain't no offensive coordinator, though, I can tell you that much. But yeah, no, it's great to see Ben Johnson back. I think that obviously will guarantee us to re-sign Jared Goff, because Jared Goff and Ben Johnson are like the dynamic duo, like honest to God dynamic duo right now. I don't know what this man's facial reaction is telling me, but
he's the offensive coordinator for the Indianapolis Colts. That explains it.
Yeah, that explains a lot. Okay.
That explains a lot.
Speaking of offensive coordinators, can we talk about how the Pittsburgh Steelers just went through?
Oh my God. I was just tipped back, bro. There's no way they did that, bro. If I'm a Steelers fan, I am pissed, bro. I'm livid.
From a dude that I can't even remember the name of because of how bad he was. What was the dude's name?
Matt Canada.
Yeah, dude, they went from Matt Canada to Arthur Smith. Bro, you're going to have
that's got to be the
Washington
worst upgrade of all time.
One tight end to like Pat Fryermuth being the blocking tight end. It's going to be ridiculous.
Yeah.
No, but honestly, I will say though, Arthur Smith succeeded a lot as an offensive coordinator before he became a head coach. So I'm interested to see if he has full control of the entire, like if he has part control of the
Why
offense.
was he so bad though?
I don't know. Like, as an offensive-minded head coach, I feel like you should be better. I just think it's funny, too, that everybody was complaining about the Falcons' offense, and then they hired a defensive-minded head coach this offseason.
Or to be a Falcons fan. Your time's up, Elaine. I'm sorry.
Mike Tomlin will probably have another winning record next year, but with nothing to show for it.
He'll win 9 games and scrape into the playoffs.
Yeah, 9 games, scrape into the playoffs, lose the first playoff game. You know, the Mike Tomlin special. Okay, but with how bad some of these Steelers teams have been, like
that's the Cowboys special,
dude. It's insane to see like Mike Tomlin streak. Like just think of him with like an actual good team, like competent team.
Not Kenny Pickett is what you're saying, or Mitch Trubisky. Imagine if he had like Ben Roethlisberger and like Antonio Brown and Le'Veon Bell. Team would be nasty.
That team was nasty.
That team was so good.
But no, we'll get back on the lines though. Yep, Ben Johnson, he's staying. Oh. Man, I'm so happy.
All right, question for you. Question of the day.
Oh God.
Who is your Lions MVP? I'm gonna tell you my answer first.
Okay.
Cam Sutton is my most vulnerable player.
Yep. I like it.
All right. So for real though, tell me what your MVP this year.
Man, this one's tough for me.
It's hard. I've seen a lot of good options.
It's in my
Tom
opinion,
Kennedy.
It's gotta be Vildor.
Okay. All right.
No, I think it has to be Goff. I think it has to.
It's hard not to say Goff.
It's hard not to say Goff. Obviously, Amon-Ra St. Brown played a huge role in the offense. But yeah, no, Goff is 100% the MVP of this team. What Goff has done with his team is incredible. What him and Ben Johnson can create on the offensive side of the ball is incredible. Yes, he had this stretch of a couple of games where he looked bad. Everybody wanted to get rid of him. Everybody wanted to see a fresh face. True, I was even saying I might want to see a fresh face, but no, like that was just in the moment, in the time. Just like right after the Super Bowl, I'm sitting there like, Josh Reynolds, I hate you right now. I never want to see you again on a football field. But then it's like the day after you like come to realize like, okay,
it ain't that bad.
Like it ain't that bad. But no, Goff's 100% the MVP. I would say offensive rookie of the year. This is tough. This is a tough one. You go
offensive rookie of the year.
Offensive rookie of the year for the Lions.
Yeah, that is tough.
You gotta go Laporta. You gotta go Laporta, in my opinion.
Yeah, you have to. He broke records. Gibbs really didn't. Yeah, you gotta go Laporta.
I mean, Gibbs incredible. Like Gibbs, he still broke records with Monty and Laporta.
With Monty,
the 10 touchdowns.
Dude, I'm telling you, like Gibbs has the chance to be like a number. Like this is a hot take. All right. I think Jahmyr Gibbs will be the second best running back in the NFL next year.
I honestly could see it.
I think we saw a preview of the two best running backs in the league in the NFC Championship.
Mm-hmm.
I know he fumbled. I know he fumbled. Everybody does it. But everybody forgets that touchdown run he had earlier in the game.
Yep. I
saw this screenshot overhead. I wish I could pull it up. The screenshot overhead, and it was like, Jahmyr Gibbs really just turned this into a touchdown. And there was like 7 49ers around him, and he turned it into a touchdown. I was like, nobody else can do that, bro.
Turning things into a touchdown. We haven't talked about this yet, real quick.
Yeah, sure.
MVP of the NFC Championship game was Jameson Williams. Oh my God. Incredible. We talked a little bit of trash. I said I didn't want to give up on him. I was saying I didn't want to give up on him. Yes, we talked about his drops early in the season. Yes, we talked a little bit of trash on him. But my man just proved why he was taken in the first round, why he could be a number 2 wide receiver on this team, and why he should still on this team. His end around, the burst of speed, the broken tackles, we were
getting he's dragging for you. I was like,
God.
What? I'm like, dude, we've had that all year.
And then the catch in the back of the end zone at the end of the game.
That was nasty. Nobody's talking about that though.
Because obviously it didn't lead to anything. We didn't win the game. Yes, we scored a touchdown. But nobody talks about
that. That was a tough catch.
Contested. It was all hands. Dude. Incredible.
And you don't think of him as a hands guy either.
No. I mean, you watch him earlier in the year and you thought he should even be on this team at this point. But
Facts. Yeah, I'm excited to see him next year, man. I'm telling you, dude. Our offense is going to be, if we keep our O-line, if we keep those guys that are up, Ragnow, I know people are talking about he might retire. I don't think he will. I think he's going to stay at least one more year. If we re-sign Glasgow, if we re-sign Sewell and Goff, Josh and Craig too. I mean, honestly, there's really nothing you need to do to this offense. Move Jame up to that second spot. Dude. That's a disgusting offense. Mm-hmm. Top 3 in the league.
I mean, it showed the last 2 years, though.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, we didn't have some of these pieces, or it showed the last 2 years. Sorry. This year and last year. And I don't know. It's incredible.
We didn't have Laporta or Gibbs at that time.
No. Still, the number. I think we were number 1 at the end of the last year. Maybe number 2. I don't remember for sure. But we were up there. We were top 5 for sure. Top 5 again this year in yards per game. I believe in points.
Oh, and Monty, too. We didn't have Monty last year either.
Yeah, we didn't have Monty. But yeah, no. Incredible. But yeah. We'll see what happens, obviously, as the offseason goes on. We're going to talk about it more. We'll go in depth.
I got to get my MVP.
Oh, yeah. Your MVP.
I'm going to be different.
Okay.
Do you want my hot take? Like my steamer take?
Okay. I have a steaming hot take on my MVP.
I have a steamer take. Okay, I'll I'll do my real one. We'll go back to your steamer one, then my steamer one. My regular MVP is mine's gonna be Aiden Hutchinson, just because you take him out of the lineup, we probably are giving up 400 yards a game. Like,
oh my god. Yeah,
there's
honestly,
there's no pressure. There's no.
Fair enough.
I just think that without him, you can't really see numbers like that, right? You can because he doesn't really sit out games at all. But like, I just think he has more of an impact than people really think. And those last 4 games, man, it was like an arcade game watching him go, dude. It was crazy. I hope he can do that for a full 17. I don't know if that's sustainable or not. But, I mean, it's been crazy watching him, and I'm going to give him the MVP this year.
Okay.
Give me your steamer. I think I know what yours is going to be. I think I know who yours is going to be.
What do you think?
Is he a free agent now, or is he up for re-signing?
No.
Oh, okay. Never mind then. Go ahead.
Mine's Frank Ragnow.
Okay, yeah, that's a good one.
Frank Ragnow,
I like that.
Is my heater.
I thought you were going to say Sewell.
No, it was close, but no, Frank Ragnow, 100%. If you look at Goff's stats when Frank Ragnow is snapping him the ball versus anybody else like Glasnow, stats,
good point.
Like, Goff stats are so much better, and just the absolute determination that he had in that Bucs game. Homie was dealing with 4. You look at the injury report after that Bucs game, it was head, neck, back, toe, wrist, arm, shoulder. Dude was dealing with everything. Like, he was dealing with it all year too. I mean, just because the games he was out were those 3 bad games of Jared Goff's stretch. I don't know if you realize that. Those were the games that Ragnow was out. Was the 3 bad, like, 3 stretch of bad games for Goff. And it's just, he's the core of that offensive line. He's a core of that offense. He's one of the guys that have been on the Lions for a while. He's an older dude, veteran guy. And he's honestly my hot take for MVP this year.
Okay. Interesting. I like it. I like it better than mine. While the stats don't necessarily determine it, in the playoffs they do, but while the stats don't necessarily determine it, just watching this guy walk out on the field, I am a little less angry, and that's Jack Fox.
Okay. Yeah.
Could you imagine giving our defense a worse field position? How much worse we would have been? I see these punters, man, in the playoffs against who was it against I think it was against the Bucs or maybe the Rams. Their punter just punted like a 30-yard duck, and we ended up scoring right after. I'm like, dude.
Well, yeah.
And then in that last game against the Niners, Jack Fox had to have punted that ball like 75 freaking yards.
Dude.
And it just
we couldn't
hit the 2-yard line. It hit like the 2 or 1 yard line straight up in the air. And our guy sold.
Ran into the end zone.
And our guy sold. Dude, but still, bro. Oh my gosh. Who does that?
It was a Lions fan reaction to it live. And it was like, all you do is sit your ass on special teams and just play special teams. And then you just sit the bench. You have one job. And that's to field the ball. And you fail at the one job. And I'm like, dude, calm down. Stop going in hand. But I'm also like, keep going. Like, this man.
I know.
That man deserves more hate than Josh Reynolds, honestly, at this point, in my opinion.
Gosh. I want to see Pat McAfee react to it. Yeah, I don't think he has yet, and I don't think he will at this point. But
if it was down on the 1 yard line, 100% he would have.
It's too bad, dude. That was one of the coolest punts. The thing is, dude, it was like it had to be like we were on like the 35-yard line. He's also 10 yards. I mean, dude, it had to be 75 yards in the air.
Dude, like literally, it had to be close to 70 yards.
And then it just 100%. Popped straight up. I'm like, bro, how do you do that?
One of the craziest punts I've ever seen.
How do you do that, bro? Crazy.
Jack Fox, he's been incredible for the Lions these last couple of years. Like, just the field position that he forces the opponents to go from is insane. Like, it's insane.
Crazy.
I like that one though. I do like that one.
Just a sneaker, little steamer, but just
Casual
underrated,
steamer.
I think. And
yeah,
be excited.
but
All right, that's gonna be it, I think, for us. We got some lines in the Pro Bowl this weekend, which is kind of cool. But also kind of sucks. But yeah, I mean, dude, the Pro Bowl's not that cool. I'm gonna be honest. They're literally selling tickets for $30. Like,
Jared Goff was asked to go and he didn't.
okay, I understand.
Replacement.
Yeah, I know Gibbs and Amon-Ra are going.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it would be kind of cool. If it was closer, I'd consider it for sure. But there's no way it's gonna be close to us ever because it's always 30 degrees here. So
yeah.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's going to be it for us. Sorry, not a lot of Red Wings Pistons talk. To be fair, the Red Wings play tonight, last night when you see this, and then they literally have like a week and a half off. So they played 2 games the past like 2 weeks, and the Pistons are doing their Pistons thing.
Real quick, we'll give a shout out to the Detroit Pistons, but also Pistons, you gotta keep sacrificing yourself. You finally win a game against a good opponent. In the Lions,
that's true. We got to talk about that.
You were supposed to sacrifice your season. Sacrifice your season for the Lions, and you end up winning on the worst day possible. But also, congratulations on the win. Detroit taking down the Pistons taking down the first team in the West. The Thunder without.
Dang, I wish I should have bet on that game.
Oh, dude, it was incredible.
It was away too, wasn't it?
No, it was home.
It was home. You're right. Yeah, it was home. Yeah. But yeah.
I turned off the Ravens game just to watch the end of it, just to see us, that final clock hit 0 and us actually win, because it was just, I didn't think it would happen again this year.
Crazy. Yeah, that's going to be it for us. I'm really excited for the Tigers season this year, man. We're going to talk a lot about them in the next few weeks.
Oh, the Tigers is... Ooh.
They're probably, if I had to pick a favorite Detroit sports team, I'm not going to lie, probably thinking the Tigers. If I'm taking out recency bias and who I've liked my whole life, the Tigers are definitely number one, and it's really not close.
Yeah,
Lions 100%. Now. I mean, the Lions are cool, you know. The Lions are cool. Lions are number one. But now, I've been a big Tigers fan pretty much my whole life. Know a lot about them, and I got some hot takes in a few episodes here. Gonna do a deep dive here, probably on the other channel. We'll probably talk. We got a lot of updates to do on the Pistons or the Tigers. We should probably update next episode. A lot of offseason moves they're making, and it's awesome to see. But yeah, we'll get into that more next episode. Maybe we'll get one out this week. Update. I don't know.
One update real quick on the Tigers is Max Clark. He was ranked in the top 10.
I'm out of here. Peace.
Peace.
If you like this video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and turn the notification bell on to never miss another video of ours. Check out our Instagram at motown.madness for daily posts and content all about Detroit sports. And check out our TikTok, motown.madness, for clips and highlights of each episode.